I love you. You ever heard those words before? Well, you have now. You know what else I love? Solo leveling. I think it is a must-watch show. It's a little something called anime.
Solo leveling it.
Can I get a welcome
Yes,
to
it's
the
awful.
jungle?
It's awful. Like, I don't know why everybody hyped up solo leveling when it's just bad. The guy's overpowered from the get-go for no reason. He has he breaks the rules of the game all the time. Like, oh my bad, am I out of mana? Infinite mana, dude. I don't have enough intel, guys. Let me think about intelligence. I'm max intelligence, guys. Wait, hold on. I'm about to die. The game won't allow me to die. Like, fuck off. It's just so boring. Like, I don't get it.
How could I have forgotten? It's survival of the fittest in this world. This world filled with violence, deception, and betrayal. How could I? And now, the system expects me to murder my enemies. This isn't coincidence or charity. The system wants me to live. It wants me strong.
You need a reality check. And just what can a jumped up little E-Rank like you even do? I mean, you're the weakest hunter of...
That's one down.
Solo leveling has really blown up with the success of Season 2. It has exploded in popularity. It's broken a bunch of records, and not to put the pinky out and the fedora on, but I liked it a lot during Season 1 too, and I was preaching the good word even back then. I know it's a little hipster thing to say, but yeah, I was sucking its dick before it was cool. Though I haven't read the manhwa that it's based on, so I'm not like a primordial meat swallower of solo leveling, but I was an early adopter. But now everyone's throating it in a big way because the show is extraordinary. It is a really, really good show. It's a very straightforward show with a simple premise we've seen hundreds of times before. It's not trying to reinvent spaghetti and meatballs here. It's perfectly content doing it very well. So it's basically a world where humans have awakened magical power, and these gates are starting to appear which act like dungeons in video games, if any of you are gamers out there. And the humans that have these powers become hunters more often than not, and they are ranked from E to S. E being dog shit tier, absolutely useless, bottom of the barrel, to S being the creme de la creme, the best the society has to offer. So these hunters will take these missions from their guilds, or sometimes not even with guild work, and go to the gates, defeat the boss to close the gate. The hunters protect the rest of humanity by closing these gates so that way the magic beasts don't come in and fuck us all in the face. And that's kind of the whole idea of the world in a nutshell, and we follow the weakest hunter of them all, Sung Jin Woo. So Sung Jin Woo is an E-ranked hunter who is absolute trash. He can't fight shit, and he is useless to pretty much every party he's on. He is a knuckle sandwich magnet. The magic beasts treat him just like this fucking meat punching bag for them to dominate. And he is well known as the weakest hunter in this world. But even though he still gets walloped by anything with a pulse, he continues to go on these dangerous missions through these gates as an E-rank hunter, getting his clock clean time and time again for the singular purpose of trying to make money through being a hunter to hopefully at some point save his mother from an incurable disease. When one of his missions goes awry and everyone in his party starts to be slaughtered from a gate that turned into something a little bit more, Sung Jin Woo is facing death directly, and he is lamenting how all of it is playing out. He is sacrificing himself to save others, and it just feels so unfair. And right before he's about to perish, at the last second before his death, he was chosen by the system to be its player, which gives him an ability no other hunters that we know of have, the ability to level up. So he can level up his strength and everything like that, just like a video game. And now, Sung Jin Woo has unlimited potential through his ability to level up. And he also gets quests, he gets items, he gets summons, and we get to watch him go from the weakest hunter in the world to the strongest hunter the universe has to offer, at least that we've seen so far. As I said earlier, it's not a unique concept. This is a premise I've seen explored before in other shows as well, but Solo Leveling does it very well, and it's also beautifully animated. The big thing that has blown Solo Leveling up is its action. The animation for all of its action, and there is a lot of action, is just to a top-notch degree that people are loving it. And it helps that it is well written. Like, it is a good story, and it isn't, like, always just right in your face. Everything's just like, you know, put the square in the square hole. There are a lot of twists and moving parts to the narrative itself, but that's not, I would argue, that's not like the bread and butter of the show. The big thing that people love is Sung Jin-woo and his aura farming, as they call it, but just the way that he is able to fight and the way he's able to get stronger. And we get to watch him fight stronger and stronger enemies as he comes up with creative solutions to the combat. He gets so many items, so many abilities, and so many summons at his disposal that it makes every fight feel super fucking fresh and really cool. And the animation is breathtaking. This is, I would say, this is up there with like Jujutsu Kaisen level animation. Like, their fights, I think, are so good. It also has an absolute slapper of a soundtrack, so during some of the fights you'll hear the OST kick in, and it just elevates it to such a hype level. Now, while I think Solo Leveling is a must-watch, I don't think it's a perfect show. I think there's quite a few valid complaints, especially when it comes to Season 1. So Danny has been watching Solo Leveling since all of this hype around it. He wanted to get in and see if it's as good as it is, you know, as people lead him to believe it is. So he just started it recently, and he's really liking it, but he had some, like, really valid complaints that I also said about Season 1 in particular, where there's not really any characters outside of Sung Jin-woo. Like, yes, there's some other people that are introduced, but they're never really fleshed out. They're kind of just there in the background, just kind of idly doing shit, while Sung Jin-woo is going through all of these gates and his own quests by himself. I mean, as the name would imply, solo leveling. But that kind of makes it so you never really get to care about anyone besides Jinwoo, because you just don't really get to know anyone besides him. Which for some people, they're not going to give a fuck, but I do think it is a valid thing to say. You know, it felt a little underwhelming that you only have one character that you ever really care about, and that also every fight Jinwoo gets in usually wraps up in like 1 or maybe 1.5 episodes. Throughout all of Solo Leveling, we're watching him become just fucking busted strong. Like, he is overpowering everyone pretty easily most of the time. There are a lot of times, mainly in Season 1, where it is like life and death, he gets very close and then squeaks it out. But for the most part, he is dog walking them. He is absolutely eating their lunch. He comes through, he's got, you know, hands by his side, cool, calm, collected, and he just fucks them. And it's very hype. It's very cool. But I do think it could be kind of lackluster for people where you build up to this really strong boss fight that ends in like 5 or 6 minutes because Jinwoo just slaps them around. It feels like, okay, he's like One Punch Man almost at this point, you know what I mean? Like, I could see why that could be not as satisfying to watch for some people, but for me, and I guess tons of other people, it is. Because the fights are still really beautiful. Jinwoo, I still think, is a really strong character, not just like in terms of his actual power, but like I actually think he is just a compelling character to watch and root for. But it is fair to say that if he's never challenged, it would get stale. Because you want to see him actually have to try and struggle against a really strong enemy where he finally overcomes it. You know, that's part of the hero's journey. And we do still get that. But I definitely recognize that in Season 2, we're mainly just watching him go ballistic and never really getting into a situation where I felt like, oh, he might lose, or he's going to have to really squeak some miracle out here to win this. It always felt like Jinwoo was firmly in control during all of it, even the strongest final fight. Now, in Season 2, we do get to learn about a few more characters to actually give a fuck about, which I think is very nice. So in Season 1, it's pretty much only Jinwoo that anyone is gonna care about, but Season 2, we get a lot more characters coming into the fold because now he is an S rank and everyone knows now. Everyone in the world knows he's an S rank, so now we get to meet the other S ranks, and some of them get a little bit of depth added to them, which I think is good because there should be more characters that you give a fuck about other than Jinwoo. Even though I think Jinwoo is always going to be the biggest draw in Solo Leveling because he's the most interesting and most hype character the show has so far. But it is nice that now there are some other characters that we get to learn about in Season 2 that I think people would like to see stick around and not get, eviscerated. Anyway, though, I'll stop yapping about it. I think Solo Leveling is a must-watch, especially for anyone that likes, over-the-top anime action. It's a beautifully animated show and just a great time. That's really about it. See ya.